And this is the thing that we want to convey to you more than all other things that we will convey in this day that we are together. We want you to understand that in this vortex of creation, where all of your requests and desires, where the other side of that bounce, where the well-being that you've been asking for, where the I know what I do want resides, we want you to understand that as law of attraction is assembling the cooperative components, that the larger part of you resides there in this vibrational state of being. And it is a vibrational state of being that is always the predecessor to manifestations. There was a vibrational vortex of creation that preceded what you call the formation of your planet. It precedes all creation. And we would like you to hear, and here it is. We've been leading up to it. Can you hear the drama? Can you feel the drum roll? We've been leading up to it. This is the thing that we want you to get above all other things that you ever get from us. This vortex of creation is present tense. This is the now, where the law of attraction is gathering all of the cooperative components. And while you may not know that, you're feeling it, because if you are a cooperative component, this vortex is drawing you toward it and into it. And under those conditions, you feel elation, you feel passion, you feel well-being, you feel love, you feel appreciation. In other words, your emotional state of being is your indicator in every moment that you are consciously aware. That emotional state of being is your indicator of your relationship with this nowness, this now, this powerful now of creation. And everything that is manifest is old news. The money in your bank account right now, this red hot minute, now, old news, old news, old news, old news. The condition of your body as you're sitting here in this physical arena, old news, old news, old news, old news, old news. Now that's hard to get your thoughts around because it feels current, doesn't it? This seems current. And we say, it seems current when you're looking at it, when you're hearing it, when you're smelling it, when you're tasting it, when you're touching it, when you're using your physicality to interpret it. We know why the physical reality is so intoxicating. But if you will turn your attention just a little more to the feeling of the emotion that resides inside your vortex. In other words, if you will reach for the emotion of appreciation, if you will reach for the emotion of love, if you will reach for the feeling of confidence and the feeling of empowerment, if you will reach for the feeling of being present, if you will reach for the feeling of being inside this vortex, what that will mean for you. Oh, hear this. You're among the first to hear it anytime, anywhere. We've been talking about it for a day. We want you to understand that when you understand the power of this vortex of creation and you are willing to accept its reality and to feel for your awareness of it, so that you care about having inside the vortex thoughts more than outside the vortex expansion. In other words, you care more about the step 3 part of the process now. When you begin to acknowledge the existence of this vortex of creation, and you begin to feel your way in, feel your way in, feel your way in, feel your way in, what happens is you tune yourself back to the frequency of that which is your source. Not was your source before you were born, because who your source was before you were born has expanded because of you having been born. Do you get that? Every time you don't get that. If you got that, you would be feeling exhilarated about it like we do. In other words, as you explore this life experience and you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And even though you may not speak it clearly, as you emanate that rocket, which is the other side of that vibrational wave, as you release that rocket, the larger part of you becomes it and embraces it, becomes it. And law of attraction is now responding to the vibrational version of you, attracting to the vibrational version of you the details that you've asked for since you've been here in this physical body. Can you hear the power of that? Can you feel it? In other words, how do you think you became who you are? How do you think that the cells of your body know which one to be a toenail and which one to be an eyeball and which one to be a liver. There's a whole lot of intentionality going on, you see. And that intentionality took place before you came forth into this physical body, but you're adding to it in important ways since you got here. And the non-physical part of you, in exactly the same way, you tell this religious and very ethereal and very much distorted story, a lot of different ones, about how this physical time-space reality came to be. But one thing you all have in common, while you disagree vehemently on how long it took, how long it's been here, how it came about, one thing that you agree on is that it is here. It is here. You cannot deny that it is here, and you cannot deny the amazing thing of how this earth spins in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, and no one's trucking in or bussing in or sending in seeds from other planets or fuels from other planets or economies from other planets. In other words, all of it was here vibrationally and is being mined by those of you who are here now, perceiving it and calling it forth. And in exactly the same way that your planet came into being in ways that you cannot even begin to fathom, admit it. You can't begin to fathom how this came about. You are, from your physical environment, setting forth rockets of desire into a vortex of creation that equals your now reality. It equals your what you call future in terms of manifestation, but now in terms of vibration. And what we are submitting to you is that you have the ability to turn your attention much more easily than you think maybe, from the problem to the solution, from the question to the answer. We want you to know that you have the ability, little by little, we'll give you lots of ways to do it, of moving yourself deliberately, and it takes a little bit of effort. Effort, what is effort? Effort is something you do to overcome resistance. If there's no resistance, it requires no effort at all. So in the first, when there's resistance, a little effort to get into this vortex. But as you begin recognizing that you're in there because you feel good, and then milking it once you're in there because it feels so good to stay, as you begin practicing the vibration of who you really are, the vibration of love, the vibration of appreciation, as you take the bounce more often and you look for what you're wanting to see, as you train yourself into the frequency of who you really are, you're going to begin to experience what we are calling real-time manifestation, where in the moment that your life presents a question, your life will present an answer. Now this happens to you often. You just don't know that it is. It's happening to you on every subject that you don't have resistance. In other words, you're driving down the freeway, you felt this yourself, and you actually know what that guy over there is going to do. His erratic behavior is on your radar before he even does it, don't you? It happens to all of you all the time. You sensed it, you knew it, and you made a decision and you acted accordingly, and you avoided a potential problem because the problem and the solution occurred to you simultaneously, because you were living real time, because you were not in resistance on that subject in that moment. The cells of your body are doing it all day, every day. You have in your body right now the potential, the probability, the wherewithal to experience in great detail every horrible disease known to man and many not yet known by man. But you don't experience them because the cells of your body know what they're doing. And for the most part, even though you're negative, you're worrying and fussing about this and that and the other, you have set up a reasonable amount of resistance. Don't you think it's interesting that even though you have the best medicine ever, the scientists that are really after it, a medical system that is evolved enormously, there is more disease present on your planet today than ever before? Don't you find that interesting, at least? And we want you to understand that you have the potential, you as individuals, and the collective consciousness will follow as enough of you are understanding it. You have the ability to ingest something or be exposed to something. You don't want to live in a cave. There's mold in there anyway, and bats. You can't protect yourself from what's out there. So as you're out there being exposed to it, don't you love knowing that in the moment that you are exposed and the consciousness of your cell recognizes it, which is immediate, that there is an equivalent bounce that is offered, and that in your basking and appreciating and loving, there's no resistance, and so there's no effort required for your cells to move themselves into balance? Don't you love how your planet balances itself? You freak out, there's an earthquake, and we say, good job, planet Earth, keeping itself in balance. You don't have earthquakes, you don't have volcanoes, you don't have a slight shifting of the pole every now and again. You cease to be, but you do have all those things because your planet knows how to keep itself in balance, and so does your physical body. And when you get out of the way, when you are no longer harboring these ridiculous, really, by comparison, prejudices against things, when you are no longer pushing against what you do not want, and you are thinking more of what you do want, training yourself into the vibrational equivalency of who you really are, now you get to live life the way you've intended it. You're in that place where in your alignment, in your vortex of creation, other cooperative components who think like you and desire like you and know like you are gathered, and together you cooperatively take thought beyond that which it has been before. That's what these gatherings are, you see. We come together with all of the detail of the life experience that is you, but we bring something unique to the table. We come as full representation of who you really are in your vortex. And we hold our attention so significantly on who you really are, better stated, who you have already become, that we make it impossible for you to deviate from the vibration of the wholeness that is you if you're paying attention even a little bit. And that's what teaching is. That's what upliftment is. That's what healing is. That's who you all are. You have come to uplift, to teach through the clarity of your example, to train yourself into vibrational alignment with the whole of you, so that you can begin to see this magnificent world, this magnificent time-space reality in which you are focused through the eyes of Source, through the eyes of Source who is you.